pretty boy. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Sasha. Sasha. Come here. Come on. Come on. Sasha. Sasha. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Sasha. Sasha. Oh, what's the matter? Huh? What's the matter, puppy? What's the matter?
Go get the ball. Go get the ball. No, bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it here. Go around circles. Way to go!
Yay, braces.
You need some bottom ones.
Forgot to put those on the picture before Christmas when he got them. Aren't they pretty? Look how straight those teeth are already. Look at who? Him? Why would I want to look at him?
Yeah. Oh, here's the glasses.
Oh, yes, Nikki's new glasses.
They are pretty. Me, get to me. You like my new braces?
Love them.
How about your new sweatshirt? My new sweatshirt? Oh yeah, that's one's changed, but I want to do that. What's Monday? What's Monday's date? What's Monday's date,
Nikki.
Mom? Huh? What's Monday's date?
Mm.
Can I do it, Mom?
Mm-mm.
What's Monday's date, Mom?
Mm.
He's a boy. Okay, is today's the 6th? Boy. Is
Mhm.
today the 6th,
Mhm.
Nikki? Is today the 6th?
Mm-hmm.
Today? 7th, 8th.
9. Puppy dance? Puppy dance?
Oh. Paw in my mouth. I think you're putting your own mouth, not mine. Who you biting? Who you biting? Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Look at the camera. Look at the TV. Look at the TV. No, look at
Don't. Paper. Bring it here. Bring it here. Bring the paper here. Get the paper. Get the paper.
Don't tickle me. Come here. Who's spicy?
He's gonna fall.
No, I got it now.
Don't get too close. It gets tough focus.
Pretty big. Come here, Sasha. Hi. Hey. Ah. Oh.
Hi.
Okay, can I put him on the floor now? I see him. Well, as long as we watch him, we'll know where he goes.
All I can see is you.
He's behind me now. Look how fast he goes. Go on fast. Go on fast.
Little Herbie.
Oh, how fast he goes.
Little Herbie.
He goes fast. He goes down slow so he can. I'm watching him.
Because, hey, I see another hamster under here.
Don't let him do that.
This is Jessie Gertrude Tharp, and she's opening her Christmas presents, and she's my grandmother, and she's Nikki's great-grandmother, and we're going to make a tape and ask her a bunch of questions about what life was like when she was little.
You can be the garbage man.
I can't. He's chewing on me right now. No.
Put them things on your feet.
Michael, don't let him chew on you.
No.
No.
No, no.
You can't see
No,
her,
no.
it's amazing.
No, no. No.
I was born in January 2nd, 1903, Gasconade County, the nearest town of any size is Owensville, Missouri. And we lived near a little settlement called Pankey Hollow, of all things. And my first real memory is when I was 4 years old. And my mom and dad took me with them to Owensville, presumably, where my mom bought the first sewing machine she ever had, except what she borrowed. And it was cold, it was still wintertime, shortly after my 4th birthday. And I was cold, and they had the big farm wagon, and they had that sewing machine in the back of it. And Mom had it all covered up, and she took me and tucked me in under that machine because I was cold, and covered me with blankets. And when I got home, I had pneumonia. My dad rode our old big old horse to Owensville to tell the doctor what was wrong and bring back medicine. And that old horse, as far back as I can remember, we had him. His name was Prince. He was iron gray. That's white with like freckles on the little bit of freckles all over his body. Raw bones, you couldn't have made him fat no matter what you did. And when it got warm weather, when I was 5, the next year after that summer, we went, Dad had made a cover on a wagon, and we went near Henley, where his brother lived, my Uncle George, and to find a place where we were going to move back there. And they left me and Bess, my younger sister, who was about 2 and a half when I was 5, left us there with Uncle George, and his wife's name was Missouri. That's the way you spell the state. And us kids called Ray Duty because we couldn't say Missouri. And we stayed there while they came back and got the rest of their stuff. And we moved to a little house on Uncle George's farm. And we lived there until Dad found a bigger place, a better place. And we moved near Henley, Missouri. It was a small town then, I don't know what it is now. And at that time we couldn't start the school until we were 7 years old because we had too far to walk. And I went to school there for 2 years. And the only horse we had that Mom could drive to the buggy broke its leg. It was not true that you have to shoot a horse when they break its leg. My dad got some of the neighbors to help, and they put a swing up, put heavy stuff under his belly and swung him up between 2 trees off his foot. And when we moved from there to Jeff City, I was about 9 years old, and he could walk. He limped, but he could still walk. And Mom and Dad sold him. And Dad, we moved in the farm wagon. Dad took 2 horses with him because that time everything was done with horses. And Mom took 1 cow because she's afraid she couldn't buy milk for all the kids. And I used to walk, we rented a cow pasture out of town a little ways. And I would, before school, walk out there and milk that cow and sell some of the milk on the way home before I went to school. Wonder what a 9-year-old kid would do now. Nothing. But so poor we didn't even know we were poor because everybody was. And my brother worked right along with my dad building the street. He built that old viaduct that used to be there in Jeff City. He was only 12 years old. And I started school in 3rd grade. And I still remember my teacher's name, Sally Newkirk. And we learned real early how to kill snakes, and the ones that were poisonous and the ones that were not. Poisonous ones were copperheads and water moccasins and rattlesnakes. Those rattlesnakes and black snakes are not dangerous. But they won't bite until they're coiled, those poisonous snakes. They're not coiled, they have to coil and then strike. And our old dogs would kill them if they get there first. And we learned to know the difference in the way the dog barked, what to expect, whether it was somebody they knew or a welcome bark or a dangerous bark. And we also had guinea fowls, and they were good watchdogs. They let you know if somebody's around that they didn't know, and they were really noisy. And Mom raised chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys. It was always my job to watch the old turkey go to her nest. And you had to hide, because if they saw you, they wouldn't go to it, they'd go someplace else. And Mom picked the geese. You didn't have to kill them to pick them. Feathers looked under their underside on their belly and their breast soft like down. She'd hold her head under her arm and keep it from biting her and pick them feathers off so they're dry. Save them and make a bed out of them. And I liked to stay with my Uncle George. He was actually my uncle that we really knew too well. And I guess I went to school there through sixth grade. And we moved out of Jeff City. I had never seen a streetcar before. I'd never been in a movie house before. And they had stage show, and I couldn't believe that they did the things that they did. It just had to be unreal to me. But we'd never seen anything. Mom made most of her own clothes. And she knitted even gloves, not mittens, gloves with fingers. And she knitted what we call shawls today, they call fascinators. And they really were just that. She could mix colors like nobody's business. And the clothes that we wore out, she cut them up in strips, and we sewed them strips together. That's how kids learned to sew, with the needle and thread and thimble. Roll them up in a big ball and kept them. And when we moved away from Jeff City, she had 2 or 3 big sacks of those carpet rags. And when we moved up there, close to Ashland on a farm, she borrowed a loom from somebody and made that carpet. Like looms that you would see, and you've seen them on pictures probably. Only this was a big old wooden thing. And we lived up there until I was 12 years old. That's when Aunt Corey had her first baby, and I went to stay with her. And the roads were nothing but mud. And my dad literally talked them horses over that road. He got out and led it. And the road was narrow. It was a big bluff and valley and everything. And he literally talked them old horses down that road. And I stayed with Aunt Corey while Margie was little. Then when I went back home to school, I didn't stay too long because I was in school. And stayed there, and then we moved back to Jeff City. And I went to work at a shoe factory when I was 15. I went to a school called Halifax there in Callaway County. A couple of years, and we moved back to town, and I went to work at a shoe factory when I was 15. I know exactly where I was on November 11th at 11 o'clock in the morning in 1918. I was working in a shoe factory. My boss's name was Gunderfinger. He used to run around with his handkerchief hanging out of his mouth. I don't know what that did for him. And I worked there for $1 a day. And when we finally got a raise, they gave us $1 a raise, but they made us buy a Liberty Bond with that $1. And I had $48 paid on it. And my dad always mortgaged everything he had. And he had Mom's buggy horse mortgaged. And he went to the shoe factory and got my $48 and paid off that mortgage. And I never did see the money. And I worked there until I was past 18. And I had been going with your grandfather all that time, Nicky's great-grandfather. And they had a farm outside of Jeff City. And he had been in the service, World War I. And he was gone to Ottawa, Kansas. One of his buddies, who was a baker, and he was a baker too, called him to come out there and work. And I went out there to visit him, and I stayed. I wasn't quite 19 when I got married. And I was 21 and a half when your mama was born. And then we had a bakery in Jeff City. He did the baking, and I helped with it. And I did the retail store. And I don't know what else I did.
Can you tell me about when you were little and going across the country in a covered wagon?
When I was 5 years old, it was in the summertime. And sometimes there was a road, and sometimes there wasn't. And my dad would cut down trees, and all the kids were bedded down in the wagon, and they set up outside and kept a fire going, keep the panthers from jumping down on the horses. And I decided one night I didn't want to stay in that wagon. I was going to sit out with Mom and Dad. And I got out there, and my dad always called my mom Sis. He said, well, Sis, I guess me and you will go in the wagon and go to sleep. Jesse can watch the fire. Didn't take Jesse long to get back in that wagon. I wasn't about to sit out there by myself. Now what else? Forgotten which one was now, but we crossed on a ferry boat. And we had a lot of young puppies out like that. But my oldest sister had given to birth, my other sister from the nursing home here now. And we took him in the wagon and our 8-year-old dog swim across the river behind the ferry. And that's when we moved it down to where Uncle George lived. They had a ferry boat and we just pulled a team and wagon and everything up on that boat. We had like a cable that went across the river. I'd be scared to death I'd get on that plane now. My oldest sister was still at home. My very oldest sister I never did know. She was 21 when I was born, and she was already married and left the state. And my other sister was, and Grandma Fisher lost 5 babies in that 10 years between my two.
How many were there, and what were their names altogether?
Well, she had 13 pregnancies. She raised 8. 2 died as toddlers, and the rest were stillborn. And my oldest sister was Mary, and then she lost Martha and George, and one she has listed on the record as just as baby was dead. And Annie, Corey, Bert, John, Bessie, and Elsie. Elsie's the baby, and she still wants to be baby. We went, one time I have a faint recollection of driving to Mary's house, the whole family in a farm wagon, and that's when she gave birth to that little shepherd puppy. And we had him for 17 years. And we used to, when we lived in Jeff City, we knew when the dog catchers was coming by, and we'd take Jack and go out the edge of town, and they'd keep him till the dog catchers made their run. And Grandma used to take him washings for Holly's grandma, your great-great-grandma, washed for other people, and she sewed. She was really good at it, and I don't remember that she ever bought a pattern. And I don't think she ever looked at a recipe to cook. And Annie had to do most of the taking care. She was 11 years older than me, because Mom worked outside, and that's why Annie was a good cook, and none of the rest of us were.
Wars. You know any wars that we didn't do?
World War II, Korean War, everything in Vietnam.
Tell me about some of them.
What it was like?
Well, in World War I, everything was rationed. We had to eat cornbread at least once a day. It didn't bother me because I liked cornbread, but Bess didn't. I'd trade her my biscuits for her cornbread when she had to eat it. We had enough biscuits. I'd take the cornbread and let her have 2 biscuits instead of 1. Now she has Alzheimer's disease. She's in a nursing home in Jeff City. And my mom still worked. My dad died in 1927. We lived across the street from the shoe factory in Jeff City, right by the state capitol. And my mom went to work in the shoe factory. She was 62 then. Then she stayed around with different people. Lee Elsie was still home. She wasn't married yet. Everybody learned to work. We had to. I used to help my dad saw wood with a big long called a crosscut saw. And he said he'd just soon have me on the other end of that saw as some man. We cut cardwood and sold it, and my dad used to make ties, railroad ties. And a big broad axe, they called it. This had one bit on it that cut and was real broad. And Mom used to do that too. She could help make ties. She did just about everything. And we had all kinds of pigs and chickens, and we had one mama pig. She had 14 baby pigs, and she didn't have enough fossils for them. We raised 2 pets. Them things would walk right through the screen door. Dad didn't want to kill them because they were pets, and we'd grave every time they'd start to butcher, so he finally had to sell them and couldn't do nothing with them. One time when we lived up Ashland, me and Bessie Elsie was the only ones at home, the rest of them was gone. And Elsie was about 5 years old, I guess.
It's starting to freeze out there.
that old pig walked right to the screen door. We didn't know what it was, we didn't mess around and left Elsa in there by herself. Too bad that pig didn't get her.
Okay.
Who was president when you were born?
Herbert Hoover,
I'm studying.
Can I ask,
he put a chicken in every pot, but he forgot to tell everybody that. That's when everything was rationed.
can you remember the presidents from him on to now?
Not in rotation, probably. There was Woodrow Wilson,
Yeah.
Calvin Coolidge, Harry Truman, Eisenhower, Nixon, Kennedy, Carter, and Miss Acton, Reagan. And he's still rather act than president. I hope you got a lot of Democrats listening in. We got a wimp for one coming up, I'll tell you that.
What was it like when Kennedy died?
Terrible. I don't know exactly where I was on that day, too. Then on the front steps of that old building I had on Setworth Avenue, the man walked by that I knew, and he said Kennedy had just been shot.
What was
He
your
was
first,
too good, that's why he got shot.
what was the first reaction?
Not much of a reaction of any kind. It was hard to believe. Shelley was mad because they were supposed to go to New York on their trip, and that was when that black man was killed, that she was supposed to do. What was his name?
Okay. Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Martin Luther King was killed. Shelley was supposed to take her graduation trip, and they wouldn't let somebody go because they were afraid. But I don't remember much of the reaction. Everybody was sad over Kennedy, naturally, because he was a good president.
How long had he been president when he got shot?
I don't remember. Not too long. I don't think he even finished his first term. My first car when I was 9, my first automobile when I was about 13. And my sister Bertha's boyfriend had a car when we lived out in the country. Must have used some of it there across the river from Dixie City. And he brought her over in a car.
What is a streetcar?
It took the place of buses, only it had a trolley that had to run on a electric wire. That's like some guy who I better not tell you that. Mom made everything. Dad's shirts, his undershirts. And she used to put long underwear on us kids because we had to walk so far. And we were about the only ones that didn't wear long underwear. And when I'd get away from the house, I'd roll them way up above my stockings so they didn't show. And she couldn't figure out why they never did fit back in my stockings anymore. And Dad, and I'd pull the stockings up over them. They never would go in my stockings anymore. They were stretched out too big. She never did catch on. Or if she did, she never said anything. My dad was over 6 feet tall, and she was barely 5 feet tall, but she could outwork any two men. A little black-eyed Indian, part Indian, Cherokee.
Is that her in that picture over there?
Uh-huh. And my dad never...
How did she come to be part Indian? What's the relationship?
Well, I think her mom, her name was, my mom's name before she was married was Spike. C-L-A-C-K. And her mom's name was Coffin. C-O-F-F in the end. And from there back, I don't know. My mom had 2 sisters, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Aunt Susie and Aunt Nettie and Aunt Nan. And my dad had Uncle George, Uncle Billy, and Uncle Charlie, and Uncle Tom. And Uncle Billy, my mom didn't like. He was born on New Year's Day, and she prayed that I wouldn't get there on New Year's Day, because she didn't want to be born on Uncle Billy's birthday. So I did her a favor. I waited till the next one. And I made my appearance in a cabin with snow drifting in through the cracks. And Aunt Annie was all the help she had. She used to set a pan of water up on the bed for Mom to give me a bath. A neighbor lady would drop in, and she's the one giving that luscious second name I got, Gertrude. And she just had one son, and she asked Mom if she could have me when her son left home. And Mom said yes, but when she come back, she had changed her mind. She didn't give me away. And some gypsies one time wanted to buy one of our dogs because they ate dogs.
Ew.
They admired Birch because she was always the tiny one and cute. And Mom really watched her because they're still cute. And people used to come by for a man. I remember one time when we were kids on the farm, we had a trained badger, and they